Ha guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Warriors injury news: unclear whether Andrew Wiggins will play in preseason. The Golden State Warriors are hopeful that small forward Andrew Wiggins will bounce back from a pair of disappointing campaigns. However, the former first overall pick has once again been dealing with some physical ailments. Wiggins was out with an illness for the early part of training camp and has missed both of the team's preseason games. However, he finally returned to practice earlier this week. Still, it remains uncertain whether he will play in a preseason game. We still have some time before the regular season starts, and I'm back at practice now and going through everything. Wiggins said, "We have a great coaching staff, they're great teachers, and I'm just trying to learn and figure stuff out. I was watching a lot from the sidelines in Hawaii. It wasn't like I was getting left behind or anything like that. Obviously, it's easier when you're in there drills and in the mix doing it than watching from the sidelines, but I had a good view." Wiggins is coming off a down season, the least productive of his career. He appeared in 71 games, 59 starts, but averaged just 13.2 points per game. Prior to last season, Wiggins had never averaged fewer than the 16.9 points per game he scored as a rookie with the Timberwolves back in 2014-15. The small forward position might be the most pivotal position for the Warriors this season. Wiggins and young Jonathan King have similar skill sets and may be forced to compete with playing time depending on how head coach Steve Kerr handles the rotation. Moreover, the Dubs will need more scoring from the small forward position this season to help make up for Klay Thompson's departure this offseason. NBA preseason: Warriors draft bust impresses and surprise start for new team. Former Golden State Warriors center James Wiseman has made a bright start in trying to revive his NBA career, showing some positive signs in the Indiana Pacers' 131-130 loss to the Atlanta Hawks on Tuesday after the Detroit Pistons failed to tender a qualifying offer to the 23-year-old. Following last season, Wiseman signed a 2-year $4.8 million contract with the Pacers in hopes they can help extract more from him than we've seen over a 4-year career to date. In the absence of starting center Miles Turner and usual backup big Isaiah Jackson, Wiseman started in his Indiana debut alongside lineup regulars Tyrese Haliburton, Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith and Pascal Siakam. The former second overall pick played exclusively with the starting group in 16 first-half minutes, notching 8 points and 4 rebounds on a perfect 4-of-4 shooting. Wiseman did miss 3 free throws, but the team was a solid +7 in his minutes in what was a positive start to his tenure in Indiana. There's an air of excitement around Wiseman's potential at the Pacers, even if it completely belies what we've seen from him in his career so far, often classified as Golden State's biggest mistake over the last decade. Wiseman appeared in just 60 games for the team before being traded to the Pistons in February last year, but perhaps a new environment could do wonders for the 7-footer, with Indiana helping that he can help with the rebounding issues that plagued them last season. Despite starting in his place on Tuesday, Wiseman has nothing but the utmost support from Turner and the rest of the Pacers organization. The Pacers' run-and-gun up-tempo style could suit Wiseman more so than his previous 2 NBA homes, allowing him to use his athleticism to fly up and down the floor while being spoon-fed easy looks from a pair of all-stars in Haliburton and Siakam. Wiseman's career remains an interesting one for Warrior fans to follow, while he's yet to make the franchise regret moving on from him less than 3 years into his career. Perhaps Indiana is the best landing spot for him to develop into a long-term NBA player. Moses Moody was one of the Golden State Warriors' most impactful players during Saturday's preseason opener against the Los Angeles Clippers. Despite coming off the bench as the 11th man in the rotation, he still finished the game as the team's second highest scorer with 12 points on 4 of 9 shooting from the field, including 2 of 5 shooting from the three-point line. He also led the Warriors with a +- of +4 in just 13 minutes on the court. Despite his efficient play and growing case for more minutes, Moody's spot in the rotation somehow remains uncertain. Speaking to the media on Monday, head coach Steve Kerr attributed the guard's limited playing time to a numbers game given the current roster composition. K's explanation echoes what he said last season when Moody found himself on the outside of the rotation looking in with Klay Thompson's departure. It appeared that Moody might have a clearer path to more playing time. His minutes have gradually increased each season, with him averaging 17.5 minutes per game last year. However, it remains to be seen whether Kerr will significantly boost Moody's role this season or continue to keep him on the fringes of the rotation. A Warriors-Pelicans trade that ignores bad blood in pursuit of GS championship. After an interesting off-season, the Golden State Warriors find themselves at a crossroads with the continuous shift in the Western Conference. They suffered a massive blow. Losing 14-year vet Klay Thompson in free agency was a significant setback to the roster that has won 4 championships. Acquiring players like Buddy Hield, Case Imo Anderson and Anthony Melton are all solid moves, but it doesn't quite move the needle for a franchise eager to win another championship in Curry's extended prime. On the other hand, the Pelicans are soaring high after a productive off-season, one that saw that pull to bring in D'Angelo Murray from the Hawks, bringing in a true playmaker after years of CJ McCollum running the offense. However, there are still some concerns surrounding Brandon Ingram. His contract, along with his fit with the former number 1 overall pick Zion Williamson, raises questions. He's not what Pelicans need, but smack dab in the middle of his prime at the age of 26 years old. His play style could allow him to flourish in another system. Enter the Warriors. They could benefit from adding another star to take the offensive burden off Curry, and the Pelicans need to figure out a true solution on what to do with Ingram. Maybe their trade would be worth considering for both sides. By acquiring Brandon Ingram, the Warriors instantly get another big-time scorer who they can run the offense through and even carry the mantle as Curry gracefully aids. He is someone who could play either wing position and some big small ball lineups as a power forward, and proved to be a massive upgrade over Jonathan Kuminga and Andrew Wiggins. Jeremiah Robinson Earl, who was only in the 3rd year of his career, could benefit from being in their Warrior system and could even become a pivotal role player down the line as he progresses throughout his career. He's a solid, versatile defender with some upside as a passer and rebounder at the other end. On the other hand, the Pelicans bolstered their front court, adding Andrew Wiggins, who could bring much-needed defense and floor spacing for Zion Williamson to operate in the paint. Moses Moody slowly but surely proved himself to be a serviceable backup guard. Even if he hasn't been able to carve out a permanent role in the Warriors rotation, he's a very good three-point shooter and still has additional offensive upside. Gary Payton III has bounced around the league over the years, including 2 stops with the Warriors. His defense could be a difference maker for the Pelicans, who already have a strong mix of capable defenders in Murray and Jose Alvarado. And you fan, what do you think of the situation of Brandon Ingram? Leave your opinion in the comments.